A thread by Carlos Osuita. What is the definition of defeatism? It's when I tell you things that you didn't even know, and you instantly craft a fantasy about how it won't work. I'm telling you how to guarantee the re-election of Donald Trump. But you won't believe me. Most elections are called on election night. This will be no different if all Trump supporters vote in person or use drop boxes for mail-in ballots. You need to look for early in-person voting. You need to look for drop boxes. You need to look for voter service centers. All of these bypass the United States Postal Service. Early votes are counted before Election Day. Now, as soon as I said this, people switched from fear of mail-in fraud to fear of Secretary of State fraud. Then give up. If an entire state is determined to steal an election, you can't stop it. So just admit that you can't be mollified. You actually want Biden to win. Vote for him to make sure he does. The rest of us will figure out how to get around the roadblocks. Also, the fear is based on total ignorance. There are a limited number of votes per state. You're telling me that the Democrats will wait until the in-person votes are counted and then pump in the necessary number of fake votes to win. So that means the state will have 30% more votes than registered voters. To prevent this, the states stop counting when one candidate has gotten the number of votes needed to win the states. They don't keep counting after that threshold is passed. What I'm trying to tell you is that if all Trump supporters vote in person, he'll have way more leeway to get to 270 electoral votes even before the in-person votes are counted. This will not be a close race. Only insane people and brainless thugs support the Democrats. And it's only August. Harry Truman turned the 1948 election around in about 2 months. And he campaigned by train. It doesn't matter that networks aren't showing the Republican National Convention. If the press had been smart, they wouldn't have shown the Democratic National Convention. It was a disaster. Small and 100% negative. The GOP convention is towering in scope and 100% positive. Trump's second-term agenda is wildly ambitious. It's exciting. When was the last time any of Trump's enemies said anything you hadn't heard before 1,000,000 times? This is the face of Black Americans trying so hard to get out of the dungeon Democrats built for them. She's asking them for help. Link in the description to a video about a young girl who was failed in her college thesis for taking a conservative point of view. She's a Black girl who is asking, why do Blacks always vote blue? If there's anyone with influence reading this, just look into this. I don't know anything about her except what she says. If she isn't legit, that's that. If she is legit, it can't hurt to ask her if you can help. Vote in person, early, or use drop boxes. We can get the election called on election night. It's time to you-know-what or get off the pot. It's going to be really hard for me to vote in person. So what? I'll do it gladly, with a smile. If you're a permanent defeatist, vote for Biden and get it over with. I want a better country for that young woman, so I'll vote in person. If they send you a mail-in ballot, take it with you when you vote in person. Even with a mail-in ballot, you can bypass the Postal Service. Use a drop box. Now, whatever I say, you can counter it with a, but what if? Don't bother, okay? For this thread, I'm hiding all defeatist tweets. If you think the Democrats have superpowers, fine. I myself know that they don't. And I plan on bypassing the U.S. Postal Service one way or another. That's what this thread is about. Don't bother posting your fears. I'm giving you facts, and you're countering with fantasies. Do your research. Stop being passive. We ourselves can make absolutely sure they call the election on election night. So do it. Come on, you sons of bitches. Do you want to live forever?